Alright, Barak Yahweh.
Barak Yahweh.
Barak Yahweh.
Barak Yahweh.
And we want to give double honor to the apostles of great millstone who rule well. And we also like to say peace and blessing, salutations to the elect.
Alright, today we have a bit of a crash history course going into how Haman the Agagite, written in the book of Esther, is linked to Philip II of Macedonia. Alright, and this proves without the shadow of a doubt that the Edomites that came into power, they called themselves Greeks. They called themselves Romans, okay? And even today call themselves Europeans, but they're not the original inhabitants of those lands. They went into those lands, all right? We're going to start with the topic of Haman in Esther, all right?
The book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 1. After these did the king Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
Right. So Haman, he was an advisor to the king. All right. And basically he had power. He was also ruling next to the king. All right. But basically Haman was an Agagite. All right.
This is Wikipedia. Haman. Haman, also known as Haman the Agagite, is the main antagonist in the book of Esther, who according to the Hebrew Bible was a vizier in the Persian Empire under King Ahasuerus, traditionally identified as Xerxes I. As his name indicates, Haman was a descendant of Agag, the king of the Amalekites, a people who were wiped out in certain areas by King Saul and David.
Right, so that says it all right there. Haman was an Agagite, meaning he was a descendant of Agag, of King Agag. All right, and we all know the story when we read in the book of 1 Samuel. Okay, King Saul, he spared King Agag. He killed all the Amalekites, but he spared the king, and Samuel had to kill King Agag. All right, but basically they even showed you in the movie One Night with the King, you know, the storyline of what happened.
King Saul of the Israelites had been sent by the prophet Samuel to wipe out an ancient, child-sacrificing enemy. So pervasive was their evil that not even their oxen or sheep were to be spared. And above all, no survivors left breathing.
My lord, I give you Agag, king of the Amalekites. We have also seized for you his livestock, even his queen.
What dark portents bid me haste across this land of ours?
How would you accuse me now, O prophet? I carried out your lord's command.
Then why do my ears ring with the lowing of oxen and the bleating of sheep?
Your Majesty, the Amalekite queen. She escaped.
We have the king. What is one woman?
You fool. She is with child.
While the prophet Samuel put a swift end to King Agag, Agag's queen, fleeing with a seed of vengeance growing within her, the Jews never found.
In the movie One Night with the King, it showed a visual illustration of when Agag, the king of the Amalekites, was slaughtered. But in the movie, they depicted his seed being basically he's surviving because his wife was pregnant with his seed, and that's how Haman came about, man. But in actuality, They just didn't literally destroy all the Amalekites.
Kind.
In actuality, like it says in Wikipedia, they destroyed the Amalekites in certain areas, man.
That's right, brother.
So that's how Haman came to be, man. But it's proof that he was a descendant of Agag, the king of the Amalekites. So if you are a descendant of an Amalekite, what are you?
Right.
An Amalekite, meaning you come from the seed of Amalek, man.
Right. The seed of Amalek, and you know, it's beautiful because what we're going into, this shows exactly why Esau removed the Apocrypha from the Bible.
Come.
You know, but can we get the rest of books of Esther? The Apocrypha?
Okay. Okay.
16:10.
16:10.
Come.
All right. This is the rest of the books of Esther, chapter 16, verse 10. For Haman, a Macedonian, the son of Hammedatha, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood, and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us. But here it says what? Haman the Macedonian.
Yep.
Then it expounds and says being a stranger from Persian blood, meaning the empire that was over Persia was the Persian and Medes, Elam and Japheth, but he was a stranger of both, man.
That's right.
So if he was a stranger of them, who was he?
Right.
You know?
Right. So he was an Amalekite living in Macedonia.
Come.
You know, like brother said. So this sheds light, okay, on the people that you called the Greeks, like Philip of Macedonia, and also his son that you like to call Alexander the Great. Okay, who were they? All right. If Haman was an Amalekite and he was a stranger to the Persian blood, but like brother read, he was a Macedonian. All right. What about Philip and his son Alexander?
If I could just skip to this point.
Oh, you got it, brother.
Esther 16:14. For by these means he thought, talking about Haman, for by these means he thought, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians. So his ulterior motive even back then was to take the kingdom for the Persians and bring it to himself and his people, man.
Okay.
Which was later manifested during Philip of Macedonia, man. They finally conquered the Persians, man.
That's right. Because they were warring back and forth already.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
You got it out?
Maccabees.
Come on.
All right, first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. I read that again. And it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian.
The Alexander, the son of Philip the Macedonian. All right? But once again, Haman was a Macedonian. But Haman was a stranger, like the brother said, he was a stranger to the Persian blood and also to the people of the Medes. All right? So this proves that the so-called white man is not Japheth. All right? Haman was an Amalekite. All right? And you got Alexander, and Alexander, the son of Philip, the second of Macedonia. Who are these people? The answer is they are Edomites. All right? And they can very well be Amalek. Okay? And this isn't speculation. Hey, it's in the scriptures, you know? That's the link. You have a link with Haman, the Agagite, or Haman, an Amalekite, linked with Philip of Macedonia.
Yep, and just to prove it or not Japheth, all right? Well, we know who the Japhites are today, or who the Japhetic people are today, but they're showing you Edomites on the coinage. Like if you look up Amenitus of Macedon and the ancient rulers over Macedon that conquered their land, the coinage shows you they were Edomites, man. You know, they were so-called white people, man.
And something that Esau always did is that when he came into power, when he would always come into power, or when he would take over a certain land or region, you know, basically he keeps some of the same names, you know, and he keeps some of the same customs as the original inhabitants of the land, you know. All right, and for example, we're speaking about Japheth. When Esau took over Europe, you know, basically when he pushed the Japhetic people out, he kept a lot of the art, you know, and he kept a lot of their names. You know, when you look at a lot of the art of the Etruscans and the Minoans, Esau he tried to do the same thing, because basically in the Etruscan art, they'll show you, for example, on the vase, they'll show you how the man is dark skinned. They'll show the man is black, and they'll have the woman is painted white. And not that she's white, but they did that to show the difference between the sexes. And what Esau did when he came into power as the Greeks, he did the same thing. You know, he tried to keep that same style of art. You know?
And if I could just add too, it shows you that in the movie Eagle. I think it's the movie Eagle about the Roman centurion. But they showed a scene in the movie where they penetrated Europe and they pushed them Japhetic people out of the movie, man.
How many days to the war? If we ride hard, 4, maybe 5. They'll never catch us on foot. Have you seen them run? Come on!
But they show Esau and his army, the Roman army, pushing the Japhetic people out of the movie, man. Even if you watch the History Channel, Engineering the Empire, they show, I believe it was Julius Caesar, how they penetrated the Japhetic lands, man. Alright.
Khan, so the so-called white man is not Japhet. Alright? He's not Japhet. And through the Spirit, we're proving it. The so-called white man, he is Esau. Esau, Edom. He went into those different lands. Alright? And it started at an early age. You know, going back during the time of Haman.
1 Samuel 15:1. Samuel also said unto Saul, Yahweh sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Most High. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have. Spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
Khan, and like brother read on Wikipedia, all the Amalekites weren't destroyed. They weren't utterly destroyed. They were just destroyed in certain regions.
Khan.
You know? Go ahead.
Verse 9. But Saul and the people appeared, but Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and of the oxen of the fatlings and the lambs and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refused, that they destroy utterly. Then came the word of Yahweh unto Samuel, saying, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Yahweh all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou, O Yahweh, I have performed the commandment of Yahweh.
Right, so Saul was wicked as hell because he spared the king. And he spared the good oxen and the good sheep. He destroyed everything that was bad, you know? So Saul was a nigga, man. But the point is that he spared King Agag, you know? But see, you know, we're going into this because even like they show you in that movie, One Night with the King, Haman, he kept that hatred for the Jews or for the Israelites in his heart, going back to what happened to the Amalekites and King Agag.
After many days of torture, at Manther the great Median prince finally confessed all and was dealt with according to the protocol of the land. For his brave and valorous services. Haman the Agagite was proclaimed a prince of the faith, to inherit Admantha's house, wealth, prestige, and power.
Pieces are falling into place. We have spoken of one by one.
Soothsaying does not become you, Haman.
Oh, my darling, I speak of the truth, not of stars. My burden I would not wish on any man. But the blood of my forefathers will be avenged. And the gods will smile down on our sons for our obedience.
Then are you mad? This is your plan?
You know, he remembered it. You know what I'm saying? So the whole point was getting vengeance. It was getting vengeance against the Israelites. Can you jump to verse 32?
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 32. Then said Samuel, Bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately. And Agag said, Surely the bitterness of death is past. And Samuel...
Right, so he think he about to get a pass. He think he about to get off. You know? Yeah, so hey, forget about the past. Don't worry about it. You know, forget about all the wickedness that my people did against Israel. You know, because it tells you, and I believe it's Exodus, it tells you how we will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So we're against Esau, period. But see, we're really against Amalek. You know, they're the top family. You know, go ahead out.
In verse 33, and Samuel said, As thy sword have made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewn Agag in pieces before Yahweh in Gilgal.
Right, hey man. So the prophets, the men of the Lord were men of war. So hey, Samuel didn't give King Agag a pass. For you guys that want to save Esau, the prophet Samuel, the man of the Most High, he didn't spare Esau. He hewed him in pieces. He cut him in two. All right, so hey man, this history that we're going into, this shows you that that Esau, he's still around today. All right, because Amalek, he's still in power today. You know, but the point is that Haman, when he came on the scene during the time of the Persians and the Medes, he wanted to get vengeance for what happened to the Amalekites during the reign of King Saul. You know, can you get Esther 3 and 10?
Okay.
You know, and through the Spirit, you sincere brothers are being edified. You know, to hell with you niggas, man, that want to save Esau.
Okay. Esther chapter 3, verse 10. And the king took him his ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, and the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy.
The Jews' enemy. The Jews' enemy. Why was he our enemy? Because of what we did to the Amalekites.
We slaughtered them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why I said in Revelations in part, that's why I said, you know, the nations were glad that we basically went into slavery because these two prophets tormented them, man.
I'm going to get it for you. This is Revelation chapter 11 and verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth.
The two prophets is the northern and southern kingdom. But then you had King David. You know, who else?
You had Joab.
Joab. Basically, men within our nation. What's his name? Amaziah.
Amaziah. Yep.
They were. It was arch enemies. It was black and white back then. We was slaughtering Edomites, man, and they had the records. The elites have the records. These men you see playing basketball, the LeBron James, the Mike Vicks, they was a part of this nation that slaughtered them, man.
Yep.
And we are the prophets that is bringing that back. They know that when we remember who we are, that's the end of their nation. They traced our history back, man. That's like watching a YouTube video where you got your butt whipped and you keep playing it over and over again.
Right.
They go into the history and play back when they was losing over and over again, man.
Right.
They know, you know.
Yeah. And it's on record that the so-called Jews, the Amalekites, that's really who they are, they financed slavery. They financed the slave trade. They financed the slave ships. All right. So, yeah, and it's on record that Cristobal Colon, who you call Christopher Columbus, he was a so-called Jew. along with many other so-called explorers that came to the Americas.
You know, another proof, more proof that them Amalekites are those fake Jews. In the movie One Night with the King, when they showed the scene where King Saul had the Amalekites slaughtered, the narrator, which is Mordecai, he referred to the Amalekites as a child sacrificing nation.
King Saul of the Israelites had been sent by the prophet Samuel to wipe out an ancient child-sacrificing enemy.
And that's what they do today.
And that's what the fake Jews do today. They sacrifice children. Hence the kidnappers. Hence the child trafficking. Hence the little girls coming up missing.
Man, brother.
They sacrificing the children to basically say to maintain their power, man. They was doing that way back then. They just perfected it now.
Yep, they finally got it right.
Yep.
You know, so it's amazing. So we hope you brothers are edified. I mean, that's really it. You know, hey, so but beginning with Haman, well, you could say King Agag, but you know, a lot of other Amalekites survived, and that's how you got Haman, the Agagite or the Amalekite, and basically they were trying to bring their kingdom back then, and it finally happened during the time of Alexander. You know, Alexander, the son of Philip of Macedonia, they finally did it. You know, but you know, hey, and it's the same people that came as the Romans, and now who you call the Europeans, okay? So, and Americans. So, hey, the so-called white man is Esau, right? Point blank, period. Point blank, period, man. The so-called white man is not Japhet. You anything else you want to add?
That's it. That's
it. You know, so we hope you brothers are edified. All right, we want to say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, great millstone. Honors and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
But perhaps not how you had hoped it would end. Imagined you that I would beg. Think you I will beg? Beg for my life. Beg like my forefather Agag before your Saul.